Let's open with a bold statement. If you've been stuck in the same frustrating loop in your love life, attracting unavailable partners, feeling like the spark is always missing, or wondering why you're drawn to the same emotional dynamics over and over, it's not bad luck. It's not timing. It's polarity. Specifically, it's the imbalance of polarity within you. This is not about traditional gender roles or superficial chemistry. I'm talking about the deeper energetic dynamics that Carl Jung referred to as the anima and the animus, the unconscious feminine in men and the unconscious masculine in women. These are parts of us that, when disowned or suppressed, begin to shape our relationships in ways we can't consciously understand. If you ever looked around and said, "Why do I keep dating people who drain me, control me, or feel too soft, too aggressive, too clingy?" Chances are you're looking at a reflection of the inner part of yourself that you pushed aside. The feminine part of you that feels too vulnerable, or the masculine part of you that feels too risky to embody. And here's the twist. The universe doesn't give you what you want. It reflects who you are. So if there's a piece of you that you're afraid to embrace, life and love will mirror that fragmentation until it's integrated.
What you said is key. And I want to add something important. These inner polarities aren't rigid. They aren't fixed to your gender. We all carry both masculine and feminine energy. The problem starts when we over-identify with one and suppress the other. Usually as a survival mechanism we learned early in life. So let me give you a real life pattern that I've seen again and again. A woman grows up in an environment where her father was emotionally unavailable or inconsistent. Maybe she watched her mother overfunction or suppress her needs to keep the peace. As a child, she learns that relying on anyone, especially a man, is unsafe. So what does she do? She leans into her masculine. She becomes hyper-independent, successful, structured, and in control of everything. She's admired, respected, but often emotionally exhausted. And what kind of partner does she attract? Someone in their feminine. Someone who may feel nice at first, but doesn't provide the energetic safety or presence she craves deep down. It's not that he's wrong and she's right. It's just that there's a disowned polarity in her that's now being reflected back. This plays out in men too. Maybe he grew up in a household where masculinity was modelled as anger, control, or emotional coldness. So he rejects her. He becomes soft, kind, nurturing. Obviously, qualities we all need, but without a backbone, without direction. He avoids conflict. He avoids setting boundaries. He leans into the feminine and begins attracting women who embody the masculine. In overdrive, independent, fierce, closed off to receiving. And again, it's not about blame, it's about balance. When your inner energies are out of sync, the people you attract will keep highlighting what's missing until you see it, own it, and reintegrate it.
Now, that's such an important distinction. Because if we look at what's happening on the surface, he said this, she did that, we miss the entire energetic story that's unfolding beneath. And if we ever address that story, we stay stuck. Let's talk childhood, because our energetic blueprint is often cast in childhood experiences. If you had one parent who was passive and another who was dominating or emotionally erratic, then your nervous system learns early on that one energy equals safety and the other equals threat. Maybe you saw your dad constantly try to please your mom, or your mom lose herself in the relationship just to keep peace, or one parent was absent entirely. What happens next is crucial. Your subconscious decides, I'll never be like that, and you begin forming your identity around rejecting one side of your polarity. That might serve you in childhood. It might even help you to survive, but it often sabotages your adult relationships. The parent you judge The energy you resent becomes the very thing that you unconsciously recreate in love, not because you're broken, because you're trying to heal.
That's exactly it, Paul. So many of our relational struggles aren't about the person in front of us. They're about the unresolved dynamic behind us. And healing doesn't mean swinging to the other extreme. It means integrating the parts of us we have exiled. For high achieving women, healing may look like receiving again, letting someone lead, releasing control, softening. Not because you need rescuing, but because receptivity is part of your design, is magnetic. And for men who've been disconnected from grounded leadership, healing means stepping into their center, not controlling others, but owning their own energy, setting boundaries, holding space, being present. We talk a lot about nervous system regulation, and here's why it matters. If your body doesn't feel safe in your feminine or your masculine, no amount of journaling or mindset work will fix it. You have to bring safety to the place where the fear lives, your body. That's why breath work, meditation, somatic practices, and even forgiveness work, like Ho'oponopono, are so powerful. They don't just change your thoughts, they change your energetic baseline.
And that's the true gift of this work. When you come back into your inner union, when your inner masculine and feminine are no longer fighting each other, you stop attracting people who mirrored your inner war. You attract from peace, not protection. Here's what I tell people all the time. Polarity is a dance, but it can't happen when both dancers are wearing armor. If you want to feel the magnetism, you have to take the armor off. And that begins by asking, which part of myself have I armored against? Do I reject softness because I think it's weakness? Do I fear leadership because I think it's aggression? Do I overgive because I don't believe I can simply be and still be loved? These just are not concepts. They're doorways into transformation.
And when you walk through these doorways, you don't just attract love, you become love. Not the needy, conditional kind, but the steady, self-sourced kind. I can have space. Relationships aren't about fixing or filling gaps. They're about creation, co-creation. So here's the invitation. Take your attention off chasing love and turn it inward. Ask yourself what parts of you need integration, not improvement. Look at your relationship patterns, not with shame, but with curiosity. Because they're not punishments, they're feedback. Every wrong partner, every emotional trigger, every unreturned message is a breadcrumb leading you back to the part of yourself that's still waiting to be reclaimed. Do the inner child work. Rebuild your nervous system from safety, not survival. Forgive your parents, not because they need it, but because you do. You can't hold polarity with another until you've held it within yourself.
Wholeness is magnetic, and that's the bottom line. When you're no longer at war with your own energy, when you feel safe inside your body, love flows. You attract from truth, not trauma, from clarity, not craving. And those are the relationships that last. Not because they're perfect, but because they're real. And that's the shift we're all here for. Wholeness, connection, truth. It starts within, and it starts now.
If you found this valuable, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. And if you know someone who would benefit from this message, please feel free to share it with them. Sometimes one conversation can shift absolutely everything. Drop a comment below to let us know your thoughts or what you'd like to dive into next. Thank you for being here, and until next time, think differently, dream boldly, and create consciously. I'm a quiet rebel, I don't need a shower, changing the world from the inside
listen